Very much. Thank you for inviting us and having us here to talk about this very important topic. My name is, like you said, is Sergeant John Savino. I'm one of the two supervisors that supervise the traffic division here in the city of Irvine. With me today is Officer Jason Schaefer, but I'll let him introduce himself. Today we're going to talk about e-bike laws and e-bike safety. Very important, very confusing topics at times. So hopefully we get to clear some of that up. Since we have limited time, I'm not going to bore you with a small chat. I'll pass it off to Officer Schaefer and get into it.
Thank you, sir. My name is Jason Schaefer. I'm one of the motor training officers here at the department, and I coordinate a lot of our bike safety programs. Now, a lot of what we do here at the police department revolves around commuter riders who are under 18 years old. Most of our problems involving bike safety are in and around the schools, but similar to riding down in the Spectrum area, they're commuters all the same. And so many of the challenges we face are involving riders who may not be as knowledgeable about certain rules as adults would expect it to be. One of the big things that we have to deal with is bike safety, and that begins with helmets. As adults, we're not required by law to wear helmets. Anyone under 18 is. So we do a lot of active enforcement on that to make sure that the younger riders are safe. But we do always recommend that everyone wear a helmet. It's safety gear like a seatbelt in a car. And although it's not going to prevent every injury, it can go a long way to saving someone's life. Safe riding really begins with three things: being courteous, being patient, and being aware of one's surroundings. Being courteous, now we know not every driver out there is courteous. So we always need to be aware of those drivers that maybe aren't paying attention, and never have an expectation that someone's going to do the right thing. Always be looking around. But as riders, if we're courteous to other traffic on the roadway, it can go a long way to keeping us safe, especially in areas where there's people who are walking, especially young people, disabled, or the elderly who may not be able to get out of our way fast enough. It's important to be courteous around them. As far as being patient, it's important to always leave yourself a lot of time to get where you're going, because sometimes when we're in a rush, it can lead to making mistakes, and that can cause accidents. And then awareness of one's surroundings really begins with keeping yourself free of distraction. We've all seen drivers out there on their phones, and it can get very aggravating. It's actually the #1 thing we issue citations for in the city is people using their cell phones. But even on a bike, any kind of distraction can lead to traffic accidents. And it's not always just cell phones. Pretty much anything can be a distraction. And one of the big things that we really see are headphones. A lot of people like to ride with headphones in both of their ears, whether it be the big over-the-ear ones or just the small Apple pods in your ears. It's actually illegal to have both ears covered. And although one ear covered is not illegal, it could still be a distraction, because anything that impairs your ability to hear the world around you, especially that big red truck going to a heart attack call, we always want to be able to hear everything. So it's important to keep yourself free of any kind of distraction. And then one challenge that we see with all kind of riders is not following the rules of the road. And following those rules of the road is one of the biggest things that can keep you safe. Most of us have driver's license, maybe not everybody, but as adults, there should be some expectation of following those rules of the road. And one important thing to note, I often get asked, hey, what are the e-bike laws? Well, the e-bike laws are the same as the bicycle laws, which are pretty much the same as the laws for cars and trucks. All bicycles, whether electric or standard, have to follow the same rules of the road as motor vehicles. That means things like speeding, obeying signs and signals. Bikes have to follow all of those, and it's no different whether it's a standard bicycle or an e-bicycle. Speeding is something that we encounter a lot. Sometimes it's misunderstood, because what speeding is if you're traveling at a speed that is unsafe for the world around you, then you're now speeding. And that's sometimes up to subjective interpretation. On a bicycle, especially depending on where you're riding, if you're riding on a sidewalk, which is legal in the city of Irvine, but if you're riding on a sidewalk and there's no one else around and you're going 10 miles an hour, probably not unsafe. But that same speed, when there's a lot of people walking around, could be speeding. So whatever speed you travel at, make sure it's safe for whatever the conditions are around you. Another big challenge are signs and signals. I can't tell you how many times I've been stopped at a red light and I'll see a bicycle just go right through the red light. And when I pull them over, sometimes I get questioned, hey, why are you stopping me? I'm on a bike. Well, red lights apply to cars, the same as bicycles. And that goes the same for stop signs, no U-turn signs, no left turn, no right turn signs. So whenever you're riding, to make sure you're all following all those same rules of the road. And for younger riders, now when they get a ticket, they come to a safety class free of charge. And something that I tell their parents, because a 13-year-old on a bicycle is not expected to know the same laws as maybe an adult with a driver's license. So what I suggest to parents is, hey, show them the driver's handbook, the same handbook that we're all going to use to get our learner's permit. It's a good thing for younger riders to learn those same laws so that, one, it'll make them a better driver when they're adults, and two, it'll make them more aware of those same laws. Because traffic laws, if you think of them as a set of expectations that we're all supposed to be on the roadway, if everybody follows those expectations, then we see less traffic accidents. Another couple important things is when you're riding, especially when you're riding on the road, to go the same direction as cars. Sometimes riders or joggers, when we stop them when they're going the wrong way, the answer we get is, well, I want to be able to see the car so I can get out of its way. It's very important that the car sees you so it can get out of your way. So whenever you're riding, always go the same direction of cars. And if you're on the road and there's a bike lane, make sure you're always using that bike lane. And in the absence of a bike lane, staying to the right side of the road, because that's where slower moving traffic is expected to be to the right side of the road. And then talking about sidewalks, it is legal to ride on the sidewalk in the city of Irvine. And there's nothing in the law that says what direction you have to go to on the sidewalk. But we always suggest to go, even on the sidewalk, to go the same direction of cars. And then of course, always travel at speeds that are safe for the world around you. An important thing, if you're gonna pass a pedestrian on the sidewalk, give them an audible signal that you're gonna be passing them. That's actually part of the city code. And this kind of leads into talking about e-bikes, because as I discussed, the laws for bicycles and the laws for e-bikes are all the same. And often people wonder why that is, because that's how the law has defined everything. And currently, some of the challenges we face with e-bikes really do involve the higher speeds that are associated with them. And with younger riders, sometimes there's that lack of knowledge on their part on the rules of the road. So we really have to educate them on the things that they're supposed to do while they're riding. But any discussion of e-bikes, it's important to understand what an e-bike is. And the law defines 3 classes. A class 1 is pedal assisted and can go up to 20 miles an hour. A class 2 is throttle assisted and can go up to 20 miles an hour. And then a class 3 is pedal assisted as well, but can go 28 miles per hour. Now, these are very fast speeds. And to put it into context, a motor vehicle, a car, going 20 miles an hour will take over 60 feet to stop. And that's sometimes what the problem is that, especially with young riders going 20 miles an hour, they may not understand that it's gonna take time if a danger presents itself for them to be able to stop and avoid that danger. A lot of devices out in the world today are being sold as e-bikes, and they're not e-bikes. To be an e-bike, it of course has to fit one of the 3 classes, but also an e-bike has to have pedals that can actually operate the bicycle and a motor of less than 750 watts. There are devices out there. One comes to mind, it's called a Suron. It's basically a little mini electric motorcycle that has no pedals and motors that can go, depending on who you ask, anywhere from 3,000 to 6,000 watts. If a bike does not fall under the legal definition of an e-bike, it's illegal to be on the roadway and cannot be ridden by anyone, including myself with a motorcycle license. I can't even ride them on the roadway. And like I said, all e-bikes are subject to the same laws as regular bicycles. With some exception for e-bikes is that the class 3s, the ones that go up to 28 miles per hour, you do have to be 16 and you have to wear a helmet no matter how old you are. But for the most part, same laws. And one of the other questions we get asked a lot is, where can e-bikes be ridden? Well, the law did change this year. And as of now, e-bikes can be ridden everywhere a regular bicycle can be ridden. Now, local governments do have some authority to restrict where e-bikes can go, but that's only on certain trails like hiking trails, recreational trails, or equestrian trails. But as of now, wherever a regular bike can be ridden, an e-bike can be ridden. That's pretty much all I have as an overview. Serge?
So you may have some additional questions. I know this is a lot of information in a short period of time. Feel free to email us. My email, I'll give it out to you. It's my first initial last name. So it's J Sabino, SABINO at cityofirvine.org. Or Officer Schaefer here, which is his first initial last name, J Schaefer, SCHEAFER FER at cityofirvine.org. Feel free to email either of us and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you need some clarification or have any other questions, we're happy to help you out.
We do field a lot of emails and concerns, and we try to get back. We do get back to every single one of them.
Thank you.